Hello, Hero Collectors here. How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I know I am, and today we're going to be cracking open this Savage Land Professor X retro carded figure. Huge shout out to Summit City Spidey. I will leave a link to his Instagram down in the description below. He was able to find this at his local Target for me, and I helped him get the Star Wars Black Series Anakin Skywalker that just came out recently. So we did a little bit of a trade. So I was planning to get this figure. I didn't pre-order him because one, he sold out and he wasn't like a must get, so I didn't, do the pre-order, and it's also from, a Target exclusive, so pre-orders aren't always going to go through. I'm sorry about I just bumped my lamp, so the light went out for just a quick second, but yeah, let's crack this guy open. Toss this packaging away. And here he is on the tray. So I actually don't have a lot I'm going to really say about this figure in this video. Mostly just do some comparisons and head swaps. So let's get him out. Accessories. I like this helmet. I need to actually look up pictures of some of the different animated helmets, because when I first saw this, it reminded me of X-Men Evolution, but I don't remember if it is actually designed like this, or if I'm just misremembering and trying to make something up in my head. So, that is that. And Charles kind of landed a little weird, but let's go ahead and get his articulation broken in. Oh, he's on a ball, but his neck also has a ball at the base, so he can get some pretty good range, it seems. But his throat doesn't want to face forward. There we go. It's a bit better. Looking at the face, it's a little bit better than the last one we got. And okay, just right off the bat, be careful when doing the shoulders, because I just stressed and scraped the paint there on the X and on the plastic of the shoulder. So be careful of that. And let's just go easy over here. There we go. I can't believe I did that. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, the face. Yeah, it's a little bit better than the last Professor X face sculpt we got, in my opinion. Not perfect, I don't think, but yeah, better than the creepy face I will show here in a minute. We're just going to get the articulation broken in. This is the same base body as the jumpsuit Hank Pym from the West Coast Avengers 5-pack. So that, we all kind of knew this was coming once we got that figure. It was just a matter of time. And sure enough, here it is. And then, like I said earlier, this is one that I was needing, but I'm happy to add it to the collection because I can actually do a small little Savage Land, like, collection within a shelf or something like that. Let's see how he looks with this Cerebro helmet on. Yeah, I kind of like that. I don't think he has his powers in Savage Land, but it's not too bad of a look. And I just wanted to get zoomed in so we can compare some of the heads. And here is the original Rider's head here on the left. And here is the Warlord Professor X unmasked head on the right. Yeah, I'm kind of more inclined to this head just being the original, but I think this is a decent head as well. I find it interesting, this one has brown eyes while the other two have blue eyes. I think definitely the middle one's the best, with this is number 2 and this is number 3 over here. Because, yeah, that's a creepy smile you got going on, Professor X, which you're thinking about over there. So, there is that. I guess there is one more head to show. In terms of comparison, you got the kind of closed eye with the telepathic effects coming out from the back. There. This, I believe, came with the House of X Professor X, but I put this on my regular chair Professor X, which, tell you what, since we've got him and the chair, let's go ahead and just see how he looks in it and see how easy it is to actually get him inside of it. So Let's tuck him in like so. Okay, I just didn't have that one leg bent enough. Hang on. Toes, angle of legs a little bit differently. Okay, he can sit in the chair just fine. Just kind of have to finagle the legs a little bit. Let's actually swap out the hand really quickly. And just do a bit of this. So now he's reading your mind while sitting in his chair. So, not too bad. He also does come with a set of trigger finger hands, but I'm not really going to use those for this figure. Let's see if I can just kind of tuck the blanket on him for a second. Yeah, you can still get the blanket on. And yeah, of course you can use a new Cerebro helmet. And maybe tell the X-Men to charge into battle. Or something like that. Not too bad. Okay, to bring in a few more Professor X's, here is the Warlord Professor X, and then this is the Rider's Way Professor X that I brought in just a minute ago. He is significantly shorter than these other two, but, you know, this was the one that I'm going to have sitting down most of the time, so not going to be too big of a deal. So there is that, and we will bring in the House of X Professor X, again, a little shorter, but I'm actually going to be customizing a better version of this because I bought a second of this Warlord Professor X, and I'm just going to remove the blue and pop this head onto that body so it can be a little bit bulkier than this skinny Pizza Spidey body. So let's move these away. And since he is in the Savage Land, there is Kazar. I don't have Zabu finished, and I do have Sauron finished, but I don't want to bring him out of the display because they'll just absolutely annihilate that shelf. And then we have Banshee here. I just opened him up recently, so he was on my desk and figured this would be a good X-Men comparison. So there's those. Then last but not least, in terms of comparisons, I had these guys already on my desk from the Banshee video, so there is Nightcrawler and Wolverine next to Savage Land Professor X. So yeah, I don't have much more really to say. This was mostly just kind of a comparison and checking out what this figure has. You know, I'm not planning on getting Charles into a ton of different like super dynamic poses, but you know, as long as it represents this version of Charles, I am happy, and I think it succeeds in that. I again wasn't like necessarily needing a Savage Land Professor X in terms of my X-Men wants, but you know, here he is. And you can get him and put him wherever you want. If you want him on your main display sitting in the chair, if you plan to do a Savage Land setup, or what have you. Or a whole shelf dedicated to Professor X's, because as you can see, we've had a few, and plus we've had a few movie ones, so maybe he's your favorite character, and this is a look you were needing. But yeah, I'll eventually take some pictures, do a review of this guy, and yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like, comment down below if you got this guy or plan to get this guy. And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe, and I will talk to you all in another video, another post, another time.